I was listening to Patti LaBelle performing her hit record, Love, Need, and Want You. And it was somebody's social media page called Vinyl Records. He DJs and plays old school music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So Patti LaBelle was actually sitting on the couch and just serenading, like it was a cappella. She was performing Love, Need, and Want You, Baby. Now, the DJ, he had the actual track playing along, but just hearing how this woman's voice is so beautiful, and she is in her 80s now. Patti LaBelle is a legend. And the song, I've always liked that song, Love, Need, and Want You. But something happened when I heard it, when she sang it live. It actually caused me to love the song on another level. And I was looking at the lyrics, and the song just kept playing in my mind. And I said, wow, music can really touch you and reach your soul. It can uplift your spirits. And I saw the lyrics to the song were perfect to describe how you will experience loving someone. She put the verbiage love, need, and want. And she's basically expressing that's how she feels about the person she loves. Very beautiful song. And I want to just talk about how to know when you are in love with a woman. And this is for lesbians and women who love women. So if you are lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, demisexual, asexual, and you are a same-sex attracted woman, this video message is for you today. You may have been in love before, or maybe you think you are in love, but you're not really sure, or you may have never been in love. And I just kind of want to talk about what real love is like between women. Well, you can actually be in love with someone, in a relationship with this person, where it's a mutually agreed upon relationship between both parties. But you could also be in love with someone and be single. Even a baby and a child can love a person. Love is something that it comes automatic within us. We come from love. God is love. And so love is spiritual. Love is what keeps us alive and keeps us moving. And it gives us the desire to keep going on. Love is love. And you might say, well, aren't you talking about a romantic type of love, an eros type of love? Well, I am. But love is actually a lot deeper than just a romantic love. Love is actually an action word. Love is not a feeling. Most people believe that love is just a feeling of excitement, a feeling of maybe you're feeling a little nervous, maybe you feel a little bit anxious. Well, those feelings are there, but they're not necessarily love. So how do you know when you're in love with a woman? I will discuss that today. I am Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Here on my YouTube channel, I provide my lesbian perspective, and if that interests you, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Well, I will tell you that when you are in love with someone, it is a different type of love. It is an eros love, which is a romantic and erotic and or sexual love. It is not an agape love, which is like a friendly love or a brotherly or sisterly love. But when you are in love with someone, this type of love is unlike any other love that you will experience. And the reason why is because I remember working in a bookstore, and at the time I was in college, and who was my supervisor? He was a male, he was a preacher, and he gave me some game at the time. And he was saying, you know, you can have any type of relationship with anyone in the world, but there's only one type of relationship that is very different from all type of relationships. And he said, do you know which one that is? So I probably ended up mentioning marriage, in which he said, yes, that is true. But he said, the difference between every type of relationship is that you can have a friendship with whoever you choose to be friends with, but there's one type of relationship that is very unique that you don't have with everyone else, and it is a sexual relationship. And that's why God designed sex for marriage. So I was on the right track, but what he said makes a lot of sense, because a sexual relationship is a relationship that will affect you yourself, but it also affects the person who you are engaged in a sexual relationship with. It actually causes a soul tie. And when you are a spiritual person, you understand that when you have a sexual relationship with someone, you may think, if you are not a spiritual person, if you are just someone who is not serious about another person, and you're just making decisions based off of lust or selfishness, you may sleep with someone and think that nothing happened. But a big exchange did occur, whether you realize it or not. Because when you actually have a sexual relationship with someone, it is a sexual relationship whether you are in love with the person or not. You actually become the same person. Yes, you do. And to prove it, when the Bible speaks on sexual relationships, God actually says the two become one flesh. So in the world, and when you are living according to your flesh, you think 1 + 1 = 2, which keeps you in a mindset that you are not joining together with another person you sleep with. You're just doing what you want to do. It's more like a selfish act. But spiritually, there is a tie that is occurring. You see, God's math is different from our math. God says 1 + 1 = 1. The two become one. So that's why you need to be very careful who you sleep with. And here's why. Because whoever you sleep with is who you become. You take on the energy and the spirit of the person you sleep with. Sex is a very powerful spiritual relationship, and you need to be very careful who you're sleeping with. What if you are emotionally tied into this person, meaning you have feelings for this person, you have deep thoughts of this person, you want to be close to this person intimately on a emotional and sexual level. But what if you are alone in your desire? Your partner doesn't have mutual feelings for you. Now, they do have feelings for you, but they're sexual feelings. And more than likely, that's not all you want, because you are wanting a deeper relationship with this person. You want to get to know this person. You want to spend a lot of time with this person. You're looking forward to a commitment. And that's why it's important to know, are you in love with a person? The reason why you need to know if you're in love with a person is because you need to know, is this the right person to be in love with? I said earlier that you can be in love with someone in a relationship where it's a mutually agreed upon relationship, it's exclusive, but you also can be in love alone. So if a person is not on the same track with you, you're not walking together, they're just doing it for fun, they're not in it for the long haul. Sometimes they get a little bored, or maybe they're feeling a little frisky, and they know that you're available, so they call you up. And because you're willing to be around this person, because you have these deep emotional feelings, you actually have a soul tie with this person. Well, it's not easy for you to tell them no. So next thing you know, she comes over and you're in bed together again. And what's happening? You're developing a stronger soul tie. And in reality, you both are. It's just happening in different ways. You're developing an emotional soul tie with someone who is not showing reciprocity. The other person is also having a soul tie, but the soul tie is more of a sexual longing, a sexual imprisonment. And what I mean by that is, there are people who may not even like you. They don't see a future with you, but they'll still have sex with you. And that person is really placing themselves and you in a very vulnerable, dangerous position, because they're very careless about their body and their mind, and they are not concerned about your welfare at all. What they are developing is an imprisonment of lust. Lust is very hard to break from. And it can control you to the point where you will not make logical decisions, and you will actually put yourself in very risky sexual behaviors. So this person that you're sleeping with may not just be sleeping with you. They could be sleeping with someone else and you do not know. And here's the other thing. They can develop feelings for another person, meaning they can develop a emotional tie, a soul tie with another person that they're sleeping with. So each party that's involved in this sexual relationship, they're being impacted. The relationship is very divided, and it's not really benefiting either one of you. And the reason why is because you feel disconnected from the person that you're sleeping with. You're developing all of these feelings, but the feelings are really irrational. Because why do you have this attachment to a person who does not care about you? They do not want to be in a mutually exclusive relationship with you, and they are not even interested in who you are as a person. The only interest they have is what you do for them sexually. So what you have to realize is you're giving your time away, your body away, as well as your heart away to a person who is absent. So you have to decide for yourself, is this the kind of relationship that I want? Is this really who I want to be in love with? And so you might say, well, how do I know that I'm in love with a person? Well, the truth is, how you know you're in love with a person is you have to be in love with yourself first. Because the scenario that I just described, you are actually not in a loving relationship. And you're not really in love with the person either. The reason why is because you have skipped the getting to know you process with the person you're sleeping with. People make a serious mistake. They mistake their feelings of excitement, their feelings of lust, their heart beating, their palms sweating, their mind is racing. They're distracted all day by thoughts of their love interest. And it's really not love because you don't even know this person. You actually are in lust, L-U-S-T, with the person. And you are hopelessly in lust, L-U-S-T. The reason why is because the person you're with does not know who you are. And the reason why they don't know who you are is because they don't care to know who you are. They don't ask you questions about your life. They don't spend quality time with you. They actually even are very irritated after they have sex with you. because you always want them to stay around and they're ready to go. So how can you be in love with a person who does not love you in return, who does not know you, and you don't even know them? And the reason why you don't know the person is because this person doesn't give you their time. Usually, you are in love with the idea of a person. You like the way they look, you like the way they walk, you like the way they talk, you like how they are around other people. You're in love with their image, but you don't really know the person because that person doesn't allow you to get to know her. She's not open to you about who she is. She's shut off from you. She's only showing you what she wants you to know. So that's why you're not in love. Being in love is an action word. It requires communicating with another person. It requires spending time with another person. It requires being honest with yourself. And it requires for you to allow another person to be honest and open with you. You have to keep your eyes and your ears open at all times when you are with another person. If you are distracted by the way this person makes you feel, or you're impressed with this person so much and you like being out and about with this person in public around other people, or you're just simply excited about them being around, well, those are all feelings. But feelings, they actually go away. They don't last long. You know how I know this? Well, just think about a regular day. You probably had a feeling of being sleepy at one point. That passed. You probably had a feeling of being hungry. Well, that passed once you ate some food. And the feeling of being sleepy passed once you got some rest. Feelings are temporary. They can be adjusted. They can be changeable at any moment. And just like you feel excited about someone, you can also feel dreadful about someone. The same person that you're excited about can make you feel very disappointed, very irritated, annoyed. You might actually stop liking that person. And the reason why is because you've only relied on your feelings for the person. You don't know the person. So it's easy for you to feel good one moment, but then in the next moment you feel bad. One way to know that you're in your feelings is when your feelings and your emotions are up and down like a roller coaster. They come and they go. But love is consistent. Love is constant. Love is unbreakable. Love only happens when you know yourself. When you know who you are, you know your boundaries, you know your desires, you know your limitations, you know your morals, you know your values. That's your foundation. When you know yourself, when you accept yourself, when you love yourself, that's when you become very picky about who you allow in your life. You don't just fall for anybody. And I usually say, I don't believe in falling in love, because if you fall in love, well, you're going to hit the ground and you're going to hurt yourself. And that person that you're falling for is not going to be around to pick you up or keep you from falling to hit the ground. So we're not here to fall in love. We're here to grow in love. See, love is maturity. Love is knowledge. Love is commitment. Love is faithfulness. Love takes time. You have to know yourself and love yourself before you can know another person and love another human being. And that's how you'll know you're in love. Because you're not going to just tolerate anybody. Sure, you may be attracted to a person, but being attractive is not enough. I mean, even being attracted to someone can be temporary. Have you ever been attracted to a person and then you look back and you said, what did I see in that person? What was wrong with me? We've all been there. So even attraction is not enough. Love is deeper. Love is an action word. You're going to have to ask questions. Solomon wrote Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Solomon was the wisest and wealthiest man who ever lived. And he was blessed by God because when he became king of Israel, when the Lord asked Solomon what did he desire, Solomon prayed for wisdom. He prayed to lead God's people in the right direction. And God was very pleased with Solomon's prayer. So God, of course, gave Solomon the wisdom, and he gave him extra. He made him the wisest man to ever live, but he also made him the wealthiest man to ever live. And there was a time when Solomon was king and he had built the Lord's temple. And it was majestic. I just couldn't imagine the beauty, but you can read about it in the Old Testament. He was on the throne. And there were kings from all over the world that used to come to Solomon annually to learn how to run their kingdom. So we're talking about kings from all over the world, from every nation, because Solomon was famous. I mean, he was famous way before the internet and social media. We're talking about BC, before Christ, right? So you can learn a lot about Solomon. And Solomon had a visitor one day, and she was a woman. As a matter of fact, she was a black woman. She was the queen of Sheba. And she came to visit Solomon. And she was very floored and impressed with him. But something interesting about this queen, the Bible says she asked Solomon questions. So what you want is the kind of woman who asks questions. You want a woman who is trying to get to know you. You want a woman who wants to understand. You want a woman who knows how to execute. You need a woman who is a boss. So she was a boss, and she knew where to go get the knowledge and the wisdom from. And that was King Solomon. So this beautiful black queen, she asked questions. So an important part of having a relationship with someone is ask them questions. If you ask a person questions, that's because you're interested in them, you want to get to know them, and you expect the same in return. So let me clarify. Asking questions does not mean you are interrogating a person. There's a difference between asking questions and interrogating a person. One person is secure, the other person is insecure. So the person who's asking questions to get to know you is very secure, very wise. The person who is interrogating you is very insecure and very foolish. So when you get to know a person and you understand them, then you're like, yeah, this person knows what they're doing. And that's what the queen came to. That's the conclusion she came to when she questioned King Solomon. The Bible says she was so impressed with Solomon and the kingdom that he built that the Bible says that she fainted. That's pretty impressive. So you want to take your time in getting to know someone. And when you get in a relationship with another person, whether it's a romantic relationship, which is the topic of today, but even a business partnership, you need to know who you're doing business with. You have to ask questions. You have to take your time with the person. You don't just get excited about the way a person looks and the way they dress, or if they're just flashing some money in front of your face. That's not enough. If you just go goo goo gaga over that, well, yeah, you're going to fall in love. You're going to hurt yourself too. You might end up broke. So getting to know a person is crucial. But you will not even try to get to know a person if you don't even know yourself. How to know when you're in love with a woman? You will continue to desire to know this woman. Like, it never gets old. You're always ever learning about a woman. Nobody stays the same. We change over time. And you don't ever want to be complacent with the woman you're with, because that's when you start taking advantage of your relationship. You become too relaxed, too comfortable. But you always need to stay in the know. Check in with each other. Take each other out on dates. Spend quality time alone. You don't always need to be around people. And you also need to make sure that you have a spiritually grounded relationship together. If you are someone who is a godly, spiritual person, you need to be with a woman who is godly and spiritual as well. That will keep you grounded, and that will keep you blessed. And you won't be so quick to give up on your relationship, because since you know this woman and you desire to continue to know her, you're going to want to make an exclusive agreement that you're together. You're going to start to get to a point where you don't want to be single, and you don't want her to be single because you don't want someone else getting her. You're going to want to be with her. You're going to be like hands off to everybody else. This is going to be a woman who, even when she angers you, even when she does things to annoy you, they're not deal breakers, but it's just her quirks or whatnot. You're not easy to run off from the relationship because you've built intimacy together. And you now want to be with each other all the time. You will start to want to be around each other every day. Like, this person becomes a part of your life. And the best part about getting to know a person is you don't have to have sex with a person to get to know them. Don't rush your relationship. Don't skip the most important part. Knowledge is power. As a matter of fact, God says, my people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. So take your time, ask questions like the Queen did Solomon, and you're going to be so impressed with what you find out that you're going to know, yeah, this is a woman I can see myself being with. And that's how you're going to know that you are in love with the woman. I am Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Contact me. I am a certified life coach, and you can have one-on-one life coaching. I also provide group coaching collectively for same-gender loving people. And I also offer couples life coaching for same-sex attracted people. My website is www.gisellewallace.com, and my contact information you can retrieve here on YouTube, or just go to my website, and I will look forward to hearing from you. Have a loving day.